We think of the 1960s as the jet age, a time of looking forward. It was space exploration, futuristic cars, and a cultural revolution that reshaped the world. But what if our homes today are actually less thoughtful and definitely less fun than they were 60 years ago? Certain features from that era have been written off as dangerous relics or design dead ends. And to be fair, some of them absolutely were. We're not here to argue for bringing back lead paint or faulty wiring. But what did we lose in the process of standardizing our living spaces? What charming, quirky, and sometimes genuinely brilliant ideas were thrown out with the bathwater? Today, we're exploring the forgotten, the abandoned, and the sometimes surprisingly ingenious home features of the 1960s. We'll look at the real reasons they vanished, from legitimate safety concerns to shifting tastes and corporate cost-cutting. And we'll ask, in our rush to embrace minimalism and beige-colored safety, did we forget how to build homes with personality? You might be surprised to find that some of these banned features were genius solutions to problems we still have today. Let's start with an absolute icon, a feature so quintessentially 60s it's become legendary: the conversation pit. There's something undeniably cinematic about stepping down into a room instead of just walking into it. It's a design that doesn't just hold furniture, it creates a mood. It says, sit down, get comfortable, and let's actually talk. The concept, pioneered by architects like Bruce Goff and Eero Saarinen, was revolutionary. In an age of cocktail parties and home entertaining, the conversation pit was the ultimate social engine. It created a cozy, self-contained zone for gathering without needing walls. The built-in seating, often wrapped around a central fireplace, could pack in a crowd with an intimacy that a few scattered sofas never could. People were rejecting stuffy formal traditions, and the pit was a new, relaxed way of living, designed purely for human connection. So, where did they all go? The downfall of the conversation pit was as dramatic as its design. First, the obvious culprit: safety. A sunken area in the middle of the floor is, to put it mildly, a tripping hazard. Imagine a crowded party, someone takes a wrong step, and suddenly they're part of the conversation in a way they didn't intend. For families with small children, it was a constant source of anxiety, leading many homeowners to simply fill them in. Then there were the unintended social consequences. Guests at different elevations created some awkward sightlines. One person's eye level could be perfectly aligned with someone else's feet. And finally, our lifestyles changed. The rise of television as the living room's main event was a major blow. Conversation pits were designed to make people face each other, but the TV demanded everyone face the same direction. The pit, an architectural marvel of connection, was no match for the hypnotic glow of the screen. And yet, we miss them. In a world dominated by digital screens, the idea of a space designed specifically for face-to-face contact feels more luxurious than ever. The conversation pit was a rebellion against passive entertainment, and now designers are even bringing them back with better safety features like clever lighting and wider steps. They've realized that what we lost wasn't just a hole in the floor, but an intentional space for intimacy. Before we had smart speakers and doorbell cameras, the peak of home tech was the built-in intercom. In the 1960s, having a new tone or talk or radio system was a huge selling point. These sleek wall-mounted panels, with a master station in the kitchen and substations in bedrooms or on the patio, felt like something straight out of the Jetsons. The appeal was immense. No more shouting that dinner was ready. You could press a button and broadcast your voice through the entire house. You could screen visitors at the front door, which offered both convenience and a new sense of security. Some advanced systems even piped AM/FM radio into every room, the 60s equivalent of a multi-room sound system. For families in sprawling ranch houses, the intercom wasn't just a gadget, it was a practical tool that truly connected the household. So why do these futuristic panels now sit silently on our walls, painted over a dozen times? This is a classic story of technology being outrun by better technology. The audio quality was often crackly and unreliable. Repairs became a nightmare as parts grew scarce, and the complex wiring buried in the walls was a puzzle few technicians wanted to solve. The final nail in the coffin was the explosion of personal communication devices. Cordless phones, then mobile phones, made room-to-room communication obsolete. Why use a wall panel when you had a phone in your pocket? Modern smart home devices now offer far more flexibility than those old wired systems ever could. As the new millennium rolled in, the old guard of intercoms faded, with manufacturers eventually discontinuing their classic hard-wired lines. Still, there's a nostalgia for their charming simplicity. The intercom represented a vision of a connected family, all under one roof, communicating through a shared system. It was a communal technology, the opposite of today's world, where each family member is in their own digital bubble. It was a feature that, for a moment, made the whole house feel like a single humming connected organism. Here's a feature that seems almost impossibly quaint, yet it was a marvel of practical design: the milk door. If you've ever seen a small, strange door on the side of an older house near the kitchen, you've probably found one. It was a simple but brilliant invention, a small insulated cabinet with a door on the outside and another on the inside. Its purpose was tied to a ritual that has all but vanished: the milkman. Before refrigerators were in every home and supermarkets on every corner, fresh milk was delivered daily. The milk door was the elegant solution to leaving glass bottles exposed on the porch. The milkman would open the outer door, place fresh bottles inside the insulated chute, and collect the empties. You could then grab your milk from the inside, a true luxury on a cold morning. The milk door wasn't banned, it was simply made obsolete. First, the refrigerator became a standard appliance so milk could stay fresh for a week. Second, the rise of the modern supermarket changed how everyone shopped. The friendly neighborhood milkman disappeared, and the milk door lost its purpose. Though a common sight in homes built in earlier decades, by the 1960s their time was clearly running out and they were often sealed up during renovations to improve insulation. But here's why we miss its core concept: porch pirates. We've traded the milkman for Amazon and a constant stream of packages, and with that comes the anxiety of leaving valuable items sitting on our doorsteps. The milk door was, essentially, a secure, built-in delivery lockbox. It solved the problem of package theft decades before it existed on this scale. People now spend hundreds on smart lockboxes that are just high-tech versions of the humble milk door, a perfect example of a forgotten feature that was actually a genius, forward-thinking idea. We're just getting started on the weird and wonderful world of 1960s home design. If you're enjoying this trip back in time and wish your own home had a bit more personality, subscribing is the best way to help us keep digging into the past. We have to know, did you grow up with any of these features? Let us know in the comments. Now, onto a feature that was the absolute height of bathroom fashion. If the conversation pit was for socializing, its bathroom equivalent was the sunken tub, the peak of 60s and 70s glamour. Like the pit, the sunken tub created drama by playing with levels. Instead of a bulky box on the floor, the tub was recessed into a platform or dropped right into the floor, creating a sleek, luxurious look. It turned bathing from a chore into a spa-like experience. The appeal was pure Hollywood. Surrounded by tile, stone, or even shag carpet, the sunken tub turned the bathroom into a personal sanctuary. Some argued it was easier to get into. You just stepped down, sometimes via grand built-in steps, like entering a private pool. It was a statement piece, a symbol of a home that prioritized indulgence and high style. So why aren't we all soaking in glamorous floor-level tubs today? Like its living room cousin, the sunken tub fell victim to practicalities and safety concerns. The biggest issue was the tripping hazard. A tub opening that's flush with the floor is an accident waiting to happen, especially for guests or anyone stumbling to the bathroom at night. The CDC has long warned that bathrooms are hotspots for falls, and it's easy to see why a tub surrounded by wet, slippery surfaces would be a major liability, especially for families with small children. Installation and maintenance were also huge headaches. Retrofitting one was expensive and complicated, often requiring cutting into floor joists and rerouting plumbing. A leak under a standard tub is bad enough. A hidden leak under a sunken one could cause catastrophic water damage before you even knew it was there. As design tastes shifted towards more practical and accessible layouts, the indulgent but problematic sunken tub was one of the first things to go. And yet, you have to admire the sheer audacity of it. The sunken tub represented a time when the bathroom wasn't just a utilitarian space, but a room for unapologetic relaxation. While a completely flush-mounted tub is probably best left in the past, its safer descendant, the modern drop-in tub, carries on the spirit of this wonderfully decadent 1960s dream. Now, let's shift from features that just fell out of fashion to those that were genuinely dangerous. The 1960s was a boom time for new miracle materials, but many of them harbored a dark secret. Perhaps the most infamous is asbestos. It was everywhere. In insulation, vinyl floor tiles, roofing, siding, and the popcorn texture on ceilings. While whispers of its dangers had circulated in medical circles for decades, to the public, it was praised as a cheap and effective fire retardant. Not all popcorn ceilings from the era contain it, but many do. Then, there was lead-based paint. While the trend was moving away from lead, its use in residential housing was still common throughout the 1960s, long before the U.S. government banned it for home use in 1978. The colors were vibrant and the paint was durable, but the risk of lead poisoning, especially in children, was devastatingly high. And finally, the most explosive hazard, solid conductor aluminum wiring. In the mid-60s, the price of copper skyrocketed, so builders switched to aluminum. The problem is that aluminum expands and contracts more than copper with temperature changes. Over time, this caused connections at outlets and switches to loosen, creating electrical arcing and an immense fire hazard. A U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission report found that homes with this specific type of wiring were 55 times more likely to have a fire hazard at their connections than homes wired with copper. Obviously, we don't miss these things. There's no nostalgia for asbestos, lead poisoning, or house fires. Their removal from our homes through strict regulations and phase-outs is one of the greatest public health achievements in modern history. It's a crucial cautionary tale about the allure of miracle materials and a reminder that the most important progress is sometimes the kind we can't see. Step into a high-end kitchen today, and you'll likely see a sea of stainless steel, white, and gray. It's clean, minimalist, and, let's be honest, a little sterile. Now, go back to a 1960s kitchen. The difference is staggering. This was the golden age of color. The undisputed kings of the palette were avocado green and harvest gold. Companies like General Electric led the charge, and people committed. You could get a matching refrigerator, oven, and dishwasher all in the same earthy hue. These were often paired with other bold choices, like burnt orange or poppy red, creating a warm, lively space. The kitchen wasn't just a place to cook, it was designed to be cheerful and social. Alongside colorful appliances were the countertops. Today we have stone and quartz, but the 60s was the era of formica and patterned linoleum. These materials were durable, easy to clean, and came in a dizzying array of colors and patterns, wood grain, starbursts, or bold geometrics. The floors were just as expressive. It was a time of fearless decorative expression. So why did our kitchens lose their color? Like any fashion trend, the reign of avocado and gold just ended. By the 80s, these colors looked dated. A new aesthetic emerged favoring lighter colors and, eventually, the clean professional look of stainless steel. In the world of real estate, neutral palettes became the safe bet for resale value. A bold kitchen is a personal statement, and personal statements can scare off buyers. But we lost something in that transition. We lost the playfulness. An avocado green kitchen has a personality that a stainless steel one struggles to match. It reflected the optimism of the era. Now, we're seeing a renewed interest in color, with deep blue cabinets and retro-hued appliances making a comeback. It seems we're slowly realizing what homeowners in the 60s knew all along. The kitchen is the heart of the home, and the heart should be a place of warmth, joy, and a little bit of color. From the social design of the conversation pit to the dangerous allure of aluminum wiring, from the charming convenience of the milk door to the unapologetic glamour of the sunken tub, the homes of the 1960s were a study in contrasts. They were full of bold experiments, quirky personality, and a vision for modern living that was sometimes brilliant, sometimes hazardous, and never boring. Some of these features were rightly left behind, casualties of new technology or regulated out of existence for our own safety. But many others just fell out of fashion, traded for a safer, more standardized, and maybe more sterile way of living. We traded the intimacy of the conversation pit for a living room built around a TV, and we swapped the joyful, colorful kitchen for a sea of resale-friendly beige. Looking back reminds us that a home can be more than just a collection of efficient boxes. It can have a personality that shapes how we live and interact. These retro quirks tell a story, and they remind us of a time when homes weren't afraid to be a little strange. So what do you think? Which of these forgotten features do you secretly wish would make a comeback? Did you grow up with a pink bathroom, a wood-paneled den, or an intercom on the wall? Tell us your story in the comments below. Thanks for watching.